All right, so simple authentication is the first one that we're going to talk about. It is covered, it is described on Appendix D2 of the RFC 2328 that describes OSPF. It protects against routers inadvertently joining the routing domain, meaning what authorized routers sending OSPF messages to me. The problem with simple authentication, and I'm sure you guys can figure that out, is that the password is in clear text and it's included in all transmitted packets. So if this person who is trying to inject wrong routing information into my domain is actually capturing traffic on that link, that person will be able to see the password and then use it to communicate with my routers. So it's not the, the strongest way of protecting my OSPF routers. So it's basically a password that's going to be placed in the OSPF header. There's a 64-bit authentication field in the OSPF header that will be used for that purpose. And just to add a little bit of more security, the entire contents of each OSPF packet is also checksummed, and we are going to add that checksum to basically verify that the data was not modified. But as I said, it's not very secure. It's just really an extremely weak security mechanism because, again, anyone could capture traffic and obtain the password. So very likely what you're going to be configuring is MD5, which is also described in RFC 2328. It's basically a shared secret key that is configured on the routers in a common subnet or network. And this key is going to be used to generate a message digest, a hash, that will be appended to the OSPF packet. This message digest is a one-way function, so it cannot be used to figure out what the key is. And because we are generating that hash and we're sending the hash, the key is never sent across the network. So even if this person is connected to the network and is capturing traffic, that person will be able to obtain the key and then pretend that he is an authorized router. And also there's a cryptographic sequence number that is added for anti-replay protection. And you can configure multiple keys at a given time within something called a key chain. And each one of these keys is activated at a different time. And they have a key ID, and whichever key is active and has the highest key ID is going to be applied. So this is a way, this is something that you can use to roll over your keys. Maybe you do that periodically to make it even more secure. Obviously, the routers are going to have to be synchronized so that they move on to the next key at the same time and you don't lose your adjacencies and your LSAs and so on. Also, you can have multiple interfaces using the same keys, or you can have different keys on each one of the interfaces. That's perfectly fine. Obviously, it is more secure than clear text, but it still does not protect the information being sent by the router, by your router, against a potential attacker. Because yes, the password is not going to be sent. The receiving router will be able to validate that the message is coming from a legitimate router, but the attacker is also receiving these messages and can get information like, for example, the router ID, which router is the designated router. So the attacker is still receiving information that he could use to cause problems in the network later on.